Hi guys, Fog of Gaming here, and today Michael is bringing you the Scout class in Battlefield 1. He will cover the weapons, the gadgets, and he will show you how to be an effective member of your squad and team. Let's start with discussing the primary weapons of the Scout class. First up is the Gewehr 98, the 1903 Marksman or Sniper, and the 1895 Infantry or Sniper. All of them only have a 5-round mag. The 1895 offers the fastest rate of fire of 56 RPM with the closest sweet spot of 60 meters. Meanwhile, the 98 offers the fastest muzzle but the slowest rate of fire at an RPM of 50, and the sweet spot that starts at 80 meters. The 1903 offers an RPM of 53 and a sweet spot at 100 meters. Overall, we want the PTFO, and since sweet spots are king, the closer the sweet spot, the more value a scout rifle has. With this in mind, while these guns are all quite good at what they do, I can't recommend them. Nor for that matter can I suggest the high magnification optics that are options for many of them, as anything over a 4x scope will create a scope glint. It will give away your position, and we should never play so far away from the objective that such an optic will be necessary. There are other scout weapons that are hard to recommend as well. First is the 1895 Trench. It's a good close to medium range weapon with a time to kill starting in the 480 to 490s MS range. But it only has a 5-round mag and it has a very sloppy hit or moving stat. These shortcomings will make the gun feel awkward to use if you get too close. The other option is the 1903 Experimental, which seemed to be purposed as a close range weapon but is tragically bad at every range with an optimal time to kill that starts at 540 milliseconds, and it just gets more awful from there. And it only even gets that good if you can consistently click at a wrist spraining 450 semi-auto RPM. While it recently received a buff to its hipfire accuracy, this stat remains garbage as well. So which weapons do I recommend? One option, which is in my honest opinion still valuable despite its recent nerf, is the Martini-Henry. Its stats can look rather poor on the surface since it has a very slow muzzle velocity of 440 and it can only load one round at a time. However, it does load that round fairly quickly. Muzzle velocity isn't that important since we're playing close to the objective, and most importantly it offers the most advantageous sweet spot in the game, starting at 30 meters. The Martini comes in only one variant, so you either love it or you leave it. The SMLE is a popular choice, and with good reason. It comes with a 10-round mag, which is massive amongst the scout rifles, and a very respectable 740 muzzle velocity. Coupled with this is a sweet spot that starts just 10 meters farther out than the Martini. The SMLE comes in 3 variants, the Marksman, which allows a 4x scope, the Carbine, which improves the weapon's hipfire, and the Infantry, which has the most favorable recoil stat. But that isn't the statistics of particular value on a bolt-action rifle. One interesting argument that I've heard, which I cannot confirm or deny, is that the infantry rifle aims down sight faster than the other 2 rifles. So this would definitely be a tangible benefit. Which variants you select will largely come down to your own playstyle, so try them out and decide which one works best for you. Next up is the M95, which offers the best rate of fire of all bolt-action rifles. It has a 5-round mag and a somewhat slow muzzle velocity at 620, but at the closer ranges this shouldn't be a big deal. One of its best benefits is the ability to fire without having to zoom out of ADS. The weapon doesn't have a sweet spot, but it does deal more damage than the SMLE under 30 meters, and of course a headshot is still a one-hit kill. The M95 offers the same variants and with the same benefits as the SMLE. Once you've picked up one of these optimal PTFO primary scout weapons, the next step is to choose a sidearm. The decision will come down to playstyle to a large degree. In Battlefield 1, using a sidearm inside 10 meters is actually just as viable, if not more so than many primary weapons. With this in mind, some scouts will just simply pull out their sidearm and use that exclusively within the CQB confines of the objective. If that's the way you want to play, then your pistol selection might be a little bit different from the scout that instead plans to shoot a target with their primary weapon first and then follow up with a pistol as a finisher. What we are looking for in a run and gun pistol is a fast time to kill, a reasonably sized mag and a fast reload time. What we will value in a finisher pistol is a high rate of fire and a fast deploy time. For a run and gun pistol you really can't beat the 1911. It offers 8 bullets in the mag, a quick reload time and a time to kill that, while not being blazingly fast, it is on par with the BAR or the 1907 inside 10 meters. Meanwhile, my preferred gun for the finisher is the MLE. Compared to the 1911, its time to kill is a bit slower, but it makes up for this with a faster deploy time and a fast rate of fire of 360. Other good finisher options are guns like the Vrommer, which has a deploy time of 1/20th of a second faster than the MLE and a 450 rate of fire. However, I'm always suspicious of being able to make the most out of these hyper-fast rate-of-fire semi-auto weapons, and I like the higher per bullet damage of the MLE. Just in case my shot from the primary weapon did less damage than anticipated, I'm more likely to seek out that one bullet follow-up kill. Let's discuss the gadgets. Right off the bat, we're going to throw out the sniper shield and the sniper decoy. These gadgets offer little value. You're playing aggressive, not sitting behind the shield, and it gives away your position even if you did. Meanwhile, the decoy spots targets that shoot at them. Garbage, so moving on. Next up is the Periscope. This can be useful. Its use implies a more static playstyle with the scout, and I don't particularly favor that. Spotting for a team is always helpful, and picking out targets while in complete safety before popping out to take the shot gives you quite an advantage against that target. Overall, I don't use this gadget, but I can see its value. Tripwires come next. These gadgets do achieve the occasional free kill, but I'm not a huge fan. Probably the best option is the Incendiary, which, whether tripped by the enemy accidentally or found and destroyed by them, it will provide a nice error denial effect that can buy you time. It's situational, but it can be useful. The K-bullets are quite a nice gadget. They will deal some damage to vehicles and it will stop them from repairing. Even in infantry game modes like Domination, a K-bullet deals great damage to elites. The last gadget in the scout's arsenal are the flare guns. These come in two categories, the flash flare and the spotting flare. The flash flare can be used to blind enemies around the location where it lands, and it will even catch them on fire for a bit of damage. The area of effect isn't particularly large, and the victims only need to turn their backs to the effect in order to avoid it completely. Even if they were initially blinded by it, there are no lasting effects like a flashbang. So as soon as they turn their back or move out of the small radius, they can see just fine. The spotting flare by comparison is the farthest thing from situational. It's simply a must pick that illuminates every enemy in a large range for a significant period of time on the minimap of all of your teammates. As a bonus, it also catches enemies on fire. While your second gadget may vary depending on the situation, the spotting flare should always be with you, and it should have been a big part of the reason why you decided to play the scout in the first place. The benefit this gadget brings for your team cannot be overstated. As far as how to play the scout, you'll be ideally doing what everybody else is doing in most game modes, which is to say rushing to those objectives with your squad. You will definitely want to be a step or two behind everybody else in your team, but your spotting flare should be the first one in. Stay in communication with your squad and make sure that your support buddy is tossing you resupplies for your flares. Playing a scout PTFO can be challenging, as running into a shotgun or an automatico simply isn't going to end well for you. So situational awareness and map knowledge is critical to your success. As mentioned earlier, you may lean more towards simply pulling out your 1911 in these close quarter spots, or keep your rifle out to fire the first shot before quickly whipping out the secondary like the MLE. You also need to consider your variant, since you can get a little bit more aggressive with the carbine and perhaps the infantry than you can with the marksman. Overall, aside a few hard and fast rules, there are several ways to approach playing the scout class in Battlefield 1. Put some playtime into several different playstyles, weapons and gadgets, and decide what works best for you in which situation. This was Michael and Fog of Gaming, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the battlefield.